Welcome back. That was Senator Tommy Tuberville and President Trump meeting with GOP senators today and what went down. The president announced he will not sign the housing affordability bill until the senators pass the Save America Act for voter ID in federal elections. Joining us now, the Federalist reporter Brianna Lyman. Brianna, the president not happy with senators today. We are staying on this story. What do you make of the president not signing the housing bill today until they do voter ID? He considers this a national emergency. What do you think?
Yeah, and I do definitely think it is a national emergency that our elections are so insecure and vulnerable to actual foreign election interference by non-citizens voting. That being said, President Trump is obviously trying to position himself as having some kind of negotiation or leverage, but ultimately, even if the president was to veto this legislation, there is enough support in Congress that they could override that veto. So this is obviously for optics, and I don't disagree with him. I think this is good for the president to do, but ultimately, this legislation is going to be passed with or without President Trump ceremonially signing it.
So the president is pushing back on senators moving on a war powers resolution, restricting his powers in Iran. He would veto that. The voter ID bill, it's about the filibuster. It's about needing 60 votes. Do you think after the president basically met with them, and it seems like he read them the Riot Act, do you think they're going to come together? By the way, that housing affordability bill will have a big impact in states like California and New York and Florida. Do you think that stepping back from the housing bill, which is bipartisan, first of its kind ban on private equity and investors buying up single-family homes, creates more housing by cutting back red tape. But holding off on that, do you think that's a good move what the president did here in order to get voter ID?
I do, because again, ultimately it is going to be passed. So Republicans are going to be able to chalk this up to a win for November's, because you're in an election year. You don't want to shoot down legislation that helps make housing more available to Americans. That being said, what the president needs to push Thune, Collins, Murkowski, and McConnell on is a talking filibuster. For some reason, you have rhinos in the Senate, including the Senate Majority Leader, who insists that we don't have 60 votes, therefore we're not going to get legislation done. That would be basically him resigning the fact that they will never get legislation passed because you're never going to have a 60 threshold majority. So that's when you have to use the talking filibuster. Chip Roy has talked about this right in the Federalist. He's written an article about it. That's what the Senate needs to focus on, and that's what President Trump needs to push.
Brianna Lyman, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's great to see you. Now, please watch this.